No.
I was never going to let anyone who helped you survive. Skylla, wake up! I have a meal for you.
Hello my friends, welcome to another episode of Titan Quest 2. My name is Wilfred. Early Access Chapter 2 is out and it is my second playthrough. I picked the Ashstalker to be my second playthrough character and I've been having a lot of fun with it. I'll go through the change in build philosophy in just a bit. So, and what you see here is a clip of the final boss, Skylla, which I enjoy a lot. Some pretty interesting mechanism with the boss fight, and then I'm also going to showcase you another clip whereby I've got to fight all the way up into the second last boss, which I thought is very nice as well, but also give you a sense of how this build performs when there's a swarm of enemies. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. Now, going back to this Ashstalker, just a little bit background. I have done all the dual mastery combo, all 6 of them, in my first chapter 1 playthrough, and then I've done a unblessed as well. Not sure I'll do it for this chapter 2 or not. We'll see if I'm kind of like really bored and got nothing else to do. So now the Ashstalker wasn't my favorite out of all the character, except unblessed of course. So it was one of my least favorite one, but then I've decided to change the build instead of relying on the bow and the rogue ability, which I find it really hard to synergize with Earth because there's no basic power at all. Everything costs so much to cast and everything, like if I have to dodge as well, it's pretty bad. So previously my Ashstalker was using light and medium armor, more dodgy, but it just, I don't find any ability punchy at all, and I've switched to more like earth focused power, and I switched to the heavy armor as well as Ornette. So everything from agility back to might. Good that I can reset this in this game. It costs quite a fair bit of gold, but I think it's well worth it. So instead of leaning towards the rogue ability, I lean towards the earth ability, and yeah, I mean and I do a lot of the damage over time, as well as the element which is on burn and ignite and explosion. So everything worked out pretty well. I didn't know that I wouldn't expect something to be so nicely done up, I would say, but to my surprise, it works pretty well in all the content, including the boss run. Alright, now the core to this build, of course, is only one ability that does meaningful power, which is the Fissure. Fissure hit really hard. The only thing is that without a basic power, unless I use a primary skill, which I do not intend to, I do not have the +5 feature. 5 features that compared to another character that I've played. So at most I have 3 features, which is the basic one, the original one, +2, which is through the modifier, and I add the damage over time, a bit of stun there, and it does the job beautifully. Now, in order to make Fissure work, and also this build work, is that I need to convert my weapon damage into a fire damage. And to do that, I use the Earth enchantment, and it's kind of nice. There are a couple of ways to do this, but I like this one because not only do I have the opportunity to convert the damage to fire, and then and also increase the element chance, I also managed to increase my armor as well, and that's very much needed because a lot of time I find myself focusing a lot on getting the resistance cap, but then with that, then your armor kind of like it's a balance between the two. So with this enchantment, I found that I can be a little bit more durable, and I'm happy about it. So Earth enchantment, it's just fire and forget, turn it on, don't need to think about it anymore. Then I have a Ring of Flame. Ring of Flame is actually a fire power, which is the kind of like all around you. And it debuff the enemy, as well as get you something called Amplify to increase the damage. It doesn't really do a lot, but then it's nice to have the increased fire damage for 6 seconds with the cooldown of 6 seconds, of course, after the buff. So it's nice to buff yourself during the period of time you see the whole ring of fire there. I could have the permanency as well, means that I could have it as a permanent aura, but I decided, no, it's okay. I don't mind the bonus come along with it. A little bit of active management is fine with me. It doesn't have to be too lazy. So I'm using a ring of flame. And then for the rogue side, I still use vanish, which I think is kind of nice, because with the vanish you can increase your crit chance, crit damage, and also a little bit of life steal. I don't really go crazy on life steal in terms of passive, and also I don't think it's not going to be a very much efficient, but then vanish is nice. I can walk a little bit faster as well, because this character I don't really build with a teleport or some kind of a dash ability. I could as well, but just that I'm so pawn staffed, so I need to really have all the points to attribute to any of those kind of active skill I have, rather than putting it into just dashing around. Then I also use a flame volley. Now the flame volley doesn't really do too much, although having the buff on the fire skill seems to make it more significant than other time. A pretty decent DPS, I would say, but the most important thing for me is that I have it such a way that when I spend power, which spend the skill power, which I use a lot, it does amplify the volley as well, and also the volley kind of the buff the enemy. So it's together with another one. Together with the flame, it does give you the kind of ignite kind of the buff. So I also have the ignite. And my ignite is that it synergizes with the flame volley to be able to apply ignite on hit. So the flame volley is automatic on the background, then have some chance to ignite, good enough for me. And since the projectile speed is faster for the flame volley, so it also kind of you can see sometimes the mob does explode, and then it does 2 meter radius. So the two skills side by side is quite nice, I would say. The ignite, I don't use ignite as an active skill all the time, but when it comes to the bosses or big hitting kind of enemies, I will use the ignite manually. And then as the tier 5, the new mastery tiers that opens up in chapter 2, I pick stone form, and I think it's a lot more fun than the Reaver I've got, which is a sword that come down, buff yourself to come down. The stone form require a little bit of strategic timing, that if there's a big kind of damage coming in, you can just turn yourself into stone, and while you're turning yourself into stone, you can recuperate health and also regen some of your mana to do other things as well. Energy that can do a big hit fissure as well. So I kind of quite like it. I think if I invest a little bit more points to it, then I'll make it a little bit more retaliative, and just kind of make it a little bit more damage focus. I don't know, we'll see how that goes, but all in all, I'm very happy with it. I'm not going to mention all the passive I've used, but the one that I've used with better success is really Combustion. I think it buffs the fire damage, and also when an enemy get burned, and you have a chance to cause an explosion as well, so why not? So it's quite a fair bit of fun things going on. So like I said, I really enjoy this character a lot, and of course it attribute to this two-hander that you have as well. If your weapon damage is high on right stats, then it become a lot more effective, and that kind of matters as well to me. So yeah, I mean this and I spend quite a lot of time on this character, mainly because I'm not really rushing through the content, and also I've been trying to experiment what works and what doesn't. So yeah, that's good, but it's not as durable as my the Reaver. For some reason, maybe just the health is not that high, I'm not sure, but I need to probably study a little bit more on how to get the most from this build. I think it is really rely on some big hitting kind of skill like Fissure, and meanwhile I just need to kind of find all the way to buff it with all the damage over time and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's about it really, and I will continue experimenting other characters, and if I may also change a build here and there just to see how else I can optimize it. So what you see here in this whole series of Titan Quest 2 is really a journey to experience the early access, and to really get some good idea before the game is officially launched. Still a lot to play for. It's still a lot of mastery that I need to explore as well. But yeah, stay tuned. Any question, drop me a comment below. I'll do my best to answer. And I hope you enjoy this game too. And if you haven't played this game yet, I hope you will one day. Yeah, it is pretty fun, I would say. Alright, see you soon. Goodbye.